Hi, I'm Nicole, the host of Squiggly Motherhood, and today I'm doing a solo episode. And I'm going to be talking about everything that I have lost, loved, and learnt since becoming a mother and going on this crazy journey. The first thing that I think about for what I've lost is friendships. Some of my friendships have fundamentally changed since I've had children. And I've really had to sit in what that means for me, what I've lost in those friendships, and really kind of grieve it. I've changed so much as a person since having children, and with some of my friends, we're just not at the same life stage. Some of my friends are single, they don't have any children, and that relatability that we once had to each other is no longer there. And I have to kind of sit with the sadness that's there, of what our friendship used to be and what it is now, and also the grief. I'm very much in that process of working out how I get to that place of acceptance, that my friendships may naturally kind of fizzle and come to the end, and that they're just not where I would like them to be. The other thing that I think about when I think of loss, since becoming a mother, is my old self. And by that, I mean, I feel like I've lost that carefreeness that I once had. Now, I was never somebody who was spontaneous. I was never somebody who never worried. I absolutely did worry. But the anxiety and the fear that I have now around certain things is fundamentally different. So I'm very nervous. I have a lot of anxiety and fear around dying. For me, dying means something so much bigger since having children. I'm leaving kids behind. I'm leaving a hole for them if I was to pass away, and the fear that I have of dying is major. It's huge. And I also have that anxiety around my children dying as well, or them being seriously hurt. I've definitely lost that freedom, that carefreeness, as I said before, of just me going about my business, doing my own thing. It feels very, very different right now. And not something that I think I can get back. I just want to add that in. I don't think I'm ever going to get to a place of where I have regained that carefree nature. I think that is fundamentally gone and has been lost. And last but not least, the final thing that I want to mention that I have lost is my career. Or at least right now in the season that I'm in, I have had 2 back-to-back maternity leaves, and there has been an impact. There has been an impact on my career, on where I feel I am developmentally, on my pension, on my salary. Now, that may all change, but right now, as I stand, I have been impacted, and there is a loss that comes with that. When I look at my peers where we kind of got promoted at the same time, they are thinking about the next promotion level. They are thinking about, their like big salary increases, big developmental things that they're doing in their career. Whereas I'm kind of still here and stagnant as to where I was just before I went on maternity leave. And there is a grief and there's a sadness in that. And I really just want, I guess, as I'm talking about loss, to really sit in that, sit in this loss, this sadness, this grief that comes with being a mother, and not to kind of go and skim over to what I've learned and what I love, but actually I really want to be clear that I am experiencing great sadness in it, great grief in it, and I am journeying through getting to the place of acceptance. That is not there right now, but I'm on the process, I'm on the journey of truly getting there. So moving on to love, one of the things that I absolutely love in motherhood is feeling like I found myself. So through university and through my career as a management consulting, I have definitely felt really strong feelings of imposter syndrome, of being I don't feel like I belong, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. And actually, as a mother, I have found my confidence is something that I fundamentally, in my core, believe that I am good at for loads of different reasons. But in me feeling like I'm good at it, I feel confidence in it. And I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm not chasing something. I'm sitting in, I'm comfortable with this, I'm good at this. And I have found myself as being a mother. I'm able to mother in the way that I want to, which is very much around being intentional with my kids and, really leaning into intentional parenting. But I found it and I'm pretty damn good at it. And I love that for myself. The second thing I wanted to mention is that in this journey, I have found such beautiful, amazing women to do life with, to raise my children with. I was never somebody, so since becoming an adult, I was never somebody who was, had a girl group. That wasn't me. I had odd friends here and there, but not like a group of women who kind of hung out together and laughed together. I didn't have that. Since becoming a mum, the gift that my children have given me is that I've found that I'm friends with groups of women where we are we ride the ebbs and the flows together, and it feels really joyful. Super quick interruption. If you are enjoying this episode and you think someone would benefit from it, please, please, please share with a friend and don't forget to subscribe. Now back to the episode. And last but not least, seeing my husband with the kids. There is joy that comes from my kids being silly with my husband and my husband being silly with the kids. That for me is beautiful. And just stepping back and observing that feels like a true joy and a true love that I have felt in this journey. And then moving on to what I've learned. So I'm just going to say this exactly how I've written it. I am stronger than I ever thought I was. I can do hard things. Now, I had 2 under 2. So I found out I was pregnant with my second around 9 months, 10 months. And my second was born when my eldest was 18 months. So I spent, a long time, 6 months doing 2 under 2. When I told people about that, I was pregnant again, it was oh my gosh, you're going to find it so hard. This is going to be a struggle for you. And so I went into kind of when my son was born thinking, panicked, oh my goodness, this is going to be so hard. I am going to live a struggle life. When in reality, it was hard, yes, but I am resourced. I am a strong person and I can do hard things. And although it was challenging, it didn't break me. It didn't break me at all. In fact, it showed me that I was strong. It helped me to step into who I am as a mother and what my values are as a mother even more. And, really enabled me to be really clear on what I wanted to be as a mother and stick to my values and lean into what felt natural and intuitive for me, like co-sleeping, exclusively breastfeeding. But it gave me that true sense of I can do really hard things and I am strong. The other thing is give myself grace. So I make loads of mistakes with my kids. I've shouted at my kids. I've forgotten to pack spare changes of clothes or water for them, or I've even I've done so many things where I've genuinely made mistakes, but I've learned in this process to give myself grace, that it's a learning journey. This is my first time being a mother. I'm not going to have all the answers. I have grace in this journey. And last but not least, I've learned to love my body or appreciate what my body can do. Since becoming a teenager, I've always wanted to change how I looked. I wanted to be taller. I wanted to be skinnier. I wanted to be thicker. I wanted to have smaller breasts. There's always been something that I've wanted to change. But with being becoming a mother and having 2 children grow inside me and push and birthing those kids and feeling such empowerment in that I can look at my body with the lumps and the bumps and the stretch marks and how my body has changed and my saggy boobs and be I have an appreciation for what you can do and I respect it and like kudos to my body, you know, the fact that I can jump on a trampoline, the fact that I can run, the fact that I can, you know, have sex, like all of those things there's an appreciation there for my body that I've learned to have that I absolutely did not have before. So yeah, thank you, children, for giving me that. And I guess just to really summarize here on what I've loved and what I've lost and what I've learned since becoming a mother is this. Two truths can exist at once. Now, you'll hear me say this repeatedly in so many different episodes that you will listen to. But essentially, things are just not black and white. Like, yes, I can feel sadness and grief and loss with my career, with my friendships, with the carefreeness, my old self that I used to have. But in the same breath and sentence, there's so much joy, love, and happiness. Two truths can exist at once. Things are never black and white, and there is nuancedness and grayness in this story. And that is exactly what I want to get across in all the podcast episodes that I am recording. And, you know, I encourage you as listeners to really kind of reflect on, what does your journey look like? Can you sit in what you have lost and get to a place of acceptance, you know, and be on that journey that I'm currently on now? Can you reflect back and think, this is what I've learned and this is how I feel empowered in that? So I invite you to do that. And, you know, please feel free to message me directly on my social media handles, at Squiggly Motherhood, to share with me like how you're going on that journey. So as I quickly wrap up there, if you have enjoyed this episode, please share it with people, share it in your community to parents on group chats. Please review and rate wherever you're listening. It just helps other people to find us. Follow me on all social media platforms at Squiggly Motherhood. And last but not least, in the show notes, subscribe to my newsletter. I will be sharing a newsletter to my listeners, to my readers, about my motherhood journey, about me being an intentional parent, and sharing some tips and advice with you. So I will end it there, and I will catch up with you all next week. Thanks, guys. I went back to work after my maternity leave, and I struggled. I struggled to go to work, to maintain a house, to cook, to clean, to look after two toddlers. It was just a lot. The mental load was insane. My to-do list was so long. And I was thinking, what can I do to make my life easier? What can I do to kind of outsource the stuff I have on my to-do list? And the first thing that came to mind was food. And so I turned to HelloFresh. I went online, I picked the recipes that I wanted, the ingredients was delivered straight to my door, and I was able to cook freshly cooked meals for my family in 30 to 40 minutes with the help of my daughter. And just like that, the mental load of having to cook, which I absolutely hated at that point, had completely gone in the bin. So for all my listeners of the podcast, I'm giving you a discount for HelloFresh. So you have one less thing to think about. Go to my show notes, click on the link, and give yourself that discount of HelloFresh today. Remove that extra thing of your to-do list and make your mental load a lot lighter. Check out my show notes now.